What is up, everyone? You are listening to 91.5 WPRK FM, the best in basement radio. You're currently listening to Oblivion Society Radio. You're listening to me, MIASMA. My real name is Victor. We're locked in here. We're with our boy Eddie. We're going to talk about some super cool stuff. I've mentioned him in the past, talking about his website, talking about his venture that he's trying to do out here, and how much it can help our local scene and help up-and-coming producers, people throwing events, and just trying to get their name out there, whether it be doing the music or throwing their own parties. So how are you, man?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Good. I'm super happy to have you in here. We've talked on and off for a couple of weeks, months at this point, and we, started talking the other day, and now we're here. And so I'm super pumped up, man.
Yeah, man, same, man.
And, getting quick, to get into it, just let the people, let them know your name, where you're from, and what you do right now. And we'll jump into the website.
Yeah, my name is Eddie, man. I'm a OG raver, I guess you can say, knowing what's going on right now with the rave scene. Raves are big again, Raves were a thing back in the day where it was a very unpopular thing, people were trying to get rid of it. Now raves are everywhere, so there's a big scene now with raves. There's a big market, and I'm just trying to create some things that help get it out there.
Nice. And when, and like, around what time did you get into the scene? I know we were talking off camera about back in the day, but
oh man, I don't want to show my age, so we're talking about like Blue Room and Senso nightclub and old school Firestone,
Nice, that's amazing. And I was telling you, I remember Senso, old school Firestone as well. When Orlando was still only breaks, when the claim to fame was still DJ Icy.
Yeah.
And nowadays newer kids are like, who's DJ Icy? Like, it's crazy to think, that the simple dun 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 is now like.
There's a lot of new talent out right now. It's a lot of new talent.
And so with new talent comes, new technology, comes new websites, right? Because that's what I wanted to talk about, right? That's why we're here, right? Your website, we've talked about, you setting up Florida Raves, you're wearing the shirt right now.
Yep.
And now you have TicketFuze, right?
What is he?
So what is your plan? What is your goal with TicketFuze? With your idea on this website and working with dance music, what is your goal right now?
There was, there's a market out there, for EDM festivals and tickets, and there's not a lot of players out there that are offering ticketed events for the newcomers. I think the main guy, right, is Eventbrite. Buying tickets right now on Eventbrite, it's a bit difficult. They're high convenience fees. They hold your money. Doing things like pre-sale is pretty much impossible. You're not going to get your money until the event is over, and it's really hard for new producers and new venues to really compete in the market when it's just Eventbrite out there doing all the ticketing. So I saw a place where I could make a system where anybody can just go on there and sell their tickets. It's nothing that's going to hold your money. We use Stripes, kind of like eBay. You control your money. There's no high convenience fees. I think Eventbrite minimum charges like a $7 per ticket convenience fee. We charge $1. And you control your money. You want to do pre-sale tickets. That pre-sale money goes right to you, and you can kind of capitalize on it right away rather than waiting, to the end of the event.
Nice. And what was it that triggered the idea, the spark? What was it that you saw or heard that went, yeah, I need to do this because no one else is doing it, and I'm the one who can?
Well, I've always seen the need for it. I've been a DJ back in the day myself, and I've always seen the need for a good ticketing system, something that doesn't take your money, something that allows you to be creative and still be profitable at the same time. And so I saw a gap in the market, and I wanted to fill it. EDM is big, rave is big now. Rave is here to stay, I think. And I just wanted to help the market kind of capitalize on it.
I think it's great, especially because, like earlier we were saying, like you said as well, Eventbrite, is the big dog. Ticketmaster, I saw Deadmau5 has a funny video online circulating where he's like, people going to raves, you're calling it a rave, you bought your tickets on Ticketmaster to go to your underground rave.
Well, I think I saw like the Labubu rave. I think that
they're doing the Labubu rave.
I mean, you'll throw rave at anything right now, which is an unfortunate thing. But like I said, rave is the It's the new thing now. It wasn't before, and now it's all over the place. So no one's gonna get over Ticketmaster. So I'm not trying to compete with places like Ticketmaster. They've got a lock on certain venues, but there's a lot of places everywhere in between that's looking to compete in the market and stay profitable.
Well, agreed. I think the idea is great because, kind of like on the same sentiment, Rave was always an underground thing, of people doing it regularly, not big companies. So the fact that you've created a platform where regular people can throw their events, like you said, there's no gatekeeping of whether holding money. It's, hey man, you want to do a show and people bought tickets? Here's all the stuff. Here's all your stuff. There's no like, oh hey, because we need to make sure our back end is good, we're gonna hold on to some couple things, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, versus we're just trying to, if I were to do my own event, that's awesome. All the money comes in, I can access it to pay DJs, to buy equipment.
Yeah, pre-sale is a big thing. A lot of venues and DJs and promoters use pre-sale as a way to gauge what their event's going to do, and it's Eventbrite. They take a lot of money from you. They take the percentage from the promoters. They take money from the ticket buyers. They hold on to your money. They even take a little more at the end before they give you the money. So there was a market there where people really wanted to, produce and promote events, but not use Eventbrite and not use Ticketmaster. My system is free. It charges $1 on top. It doesn't take anything from your revenue. It's absolutely free, and it just you manage your own money.
Awesome, and just looking through the website now, and when you first sent it to me, like the stuff you have here, simple processes. I'm just reading off the cuff. Processes, rave analytics, secure payments, managing guest lists. The event itself. You can manage staff. Someone who's now into the numbers, I'm not a numbers guy, but now that, with content creation and knowing where everything is headed, it's nice to have all of that information.
Yeah.
I've never used Ticketmaster or Eventbrite to do my events,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure the information that they show, but knowing that you're telling that anyone that comes on the website straight up, you have view of everything, the tool is there.
Yeah, the Eventbrite, they've got some great features, but they're definitely going to charge you for it. So we wanted to make sure when we launched, we had all the same features, and if not, at least those and more, and make it free.
Nice. And just so people can know, if you want to check out the website, it's app.ticketfuze.com. So it's spelled Fuze. So app.ticketfuze.com.
And it does all the same thing that Eventbrite does. It has ticket scanning. We've got secure QR codes. It's all encrypted. You can manage staff. You can manage your guest list. It's everything that Eventbrite does and more.
Sorry, and no, but like I said before, that's awesome because, like we said, and it's for, done locally, and it's for the better of everything else, and at the end of the day, where do you even if, let's say, you weren't the number one, but you took off, what is the landscape you would like to see,
I'm trying to bring it nationwide, it's a nationwide system. You can use it in any state. I'm just trying to push it out locally first and get some local promoters to start using it, and really just get it out there nationwide.
And is it, and obviously, it's just EDM events, any type of event?
I wanted to serve the EDM market first. You can get on there and sell tickets to any event that you wanted to. It does free RSVP. You can just do free events if you wanted to and just, track your attendees. It's absolutely free for anyone who wants to throw any kind of event. But I really wanted to serve specifically the EDM market. All these other ticketing places, they're doing everything else, and I'm familiar with the EDM markets, so that's the market I wanted to serve first.
Nice. And getting even further into the site, what is it like building a site? What goes into that? Because for example, my brother-in-law is a programmer. He's super into that stuff. And he helped me set up my super simple little website. Like if you guys want to, let me see, hold on. So if you guys at home want to see my website, you guys want to judge it, it's miasmamusic.net. So MIASMA music.net. I'm showing him right now. Look how simple my website is. They're crazy. It's nice.
A link, just like a link tree.
It's like a link tree without being a link tree.
Right.
And so for me, I saw him doing the stuff on the computer, and I'm like, how did that translate to what I'm looking at over there. So what's that process
I've
like?
been developing sites for over 20 years. I've worked a lot of places like Golf Channel, Disney, a lot of vacation places. I've a few hundred, maybe 1,000 websites I've probably created in my career. And I went off on my own and started just developing my own apps and my own websites and my own systems because I'm capable of it instead of working for somebody else. So as I get these ideas and I see these untapped markets or these undeserved markets, I develop for them.
Nice. And are you currently, so the website is up and running, like we
Oh,
you
yeah,
said. It's
it's live.
app.ticketfuse.com if you want to use it, you know. Have you already gotten into like, you know, because I know TikTok and, you know, all that stuff is like all the rage right now to like start pushing, you know, for younger artists. Have you already, like, guys, because, you know, this is the first time we're talking, you know, we started talking about, you know, the new site, because I know Florida Raves, like you got on right now, but this is the newer one.
Yeah.
You know?
I haven't dove into the social media marketing aspect of this. I've just kind of been pushing it everywhere else and just kind of working out the bugs, getting some local promoters to start using it and find out what needs they have so I can incorporate more features. But yeah, social media is definitely the next step I have to bring to this.
Nice. And is there, like, you know, now that we're in it, you know, you were telling me people are listening, any shout outs you quickly want to give before we continue forward since we got a moment?
Yeah, check out FloridaRaves.com. That was my first little EDM project, I guess. You know, that's just local Florida events, just a local website, kind of a pet project. Yeah, and shout out to my wife, Jamie.
So with the currency in dance music, right? Creating the website, you know, trying to help, you know, younger producers, DJs, people doing events. What was it like for you? What was your history like growing up, listening to dance music, going to these parties, the raves, you know, meeting everyone?
That's the history of me in Florida is dance music, is EDM, is Firestone, is like the Blue Room, is Winter Music Conference, is Miami, is partying. You know, that's my background, and so there's a lot of things that I want to create that still tap into those things because that's what I know.
Mm-hmm. Something you saying that I don't know if you've seen this movie. Have you ever seen I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. Do you know Frankie Wild? Does that name ring a bell?
No.
It's a movie about DJ.
Is it kids? Is it the club kids
No,
movie?
it's like an older guy. So his name is Frankie Wild. The movie was made. I don't know I remember if it was made by Pete Tong himself. But Pete Tong is in it. Hammett is in it. Tiesto, Carl Cox, and the story basically follows this DJ in Ibiza, and kind of goes through his journey, you know, and he becomes deaf and whatnot. But and like it's a good watch. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link later. But I bring that up because, you know, something that he says in the beginning of the movie, Pete Tong is interviewing him at the start on Ibiza radio, and he's like, you know, Frankie, you've been in Ibiza for 15 plus years. How do you describe Ibiza? And he was like, remember those ads in the 70s that were like, you know, camels or whatever is dot, or like he said, vodka martini is dot dot dot. You know, you know, and he was like, you know, I never understood that. You know, it always bothered me. He's like, but now, 15 years later, having been in Ibiza, having done all this, I can say Ibiza is dot dot dot. You know, and like you said, you know, it was senso. It was. For some people, it was the groove back in the day. For some people, like for me, in coming up, for me, it was Senso and Ignition at Firestone. It was also Smile for Camera.
Roxy's.
You know, at Roxy. You know, which is still there. I'm surprised that the building's still standing after all this time.
The scene has definitely changed. It's evolved. Downtown is changing. I feel like Sanford is more downtown than downtown is.
Same with iDrive. They've become the new downtown.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know how many EDM events I've seen at whatever that Spanish club, that restaurant in iDrive. But yeah, the scene is changing and people are having events.
I was like, not Palm Tree Club. I'm like, that's not allowed.
Mangoes.
I know Mangoes because one day they had Roger Sanchez pull up, and I was like, Roger Sanchez? I'm like, that's amazing. Like, you know.
Yeah, everyone who can now is trying to do EDM events, calling it raves. Like I said, that Lou Booba rave, that kind of, you know, Everybody's got a thing. K-pop raves is a thing, you know. So
The one that made me laugh the most recently was the bingo raves. I think that's what they call the bingo raves.
And actually, I just bought a ticket to that, and that's when, you know, as I was building this system, and my wife bought the tickets. It was a $7 convenience fee.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a $7 per ticket convenience fee. So none of that goes to the promoter. None of that.
Wow, like they just keep that. That's
They keep it. That's their processing fee. Yep, and they'll hold on to it, and it fluctuates. It could be as low as like $4. It could be a $10 convenience fee, and you have no control of it.
And so, quite because I've never done it, right? So let's say that I did an event, right, and I had people pre-buy tickets, and the money's there, and like you said, they hold that. So they hold that.
Yeah, they use like an escrow. You've got to give them all your information, your social. You're pretty much, you know, your firstborn for them to hold your money for your events. We use Stripe. Stripe is, again, it's kind of like eBay. You sign up for it, you add a bank account, you connect it to our system, and you start pre-sale, and you control your money right away. Pre-sale should be for pre-sale, right? You should be able to use that money to pay your promoters, to pay your DJs, to kind of get to gauge the...
Maybe incentivize a little too.
Right. And it's very difficult to do something like that event, right? And if you're a new promoter, it's very hard to compete.
It is, because I've been, people that are listening, that have tuned in the past know that I've tried to do my own events, and it's a lot doing the flyer, finding the DJ, talking to the club, getting the financials with the club, and then like you said, selling ours, you know, getting the word out, RSVPing, because then you have a more solid idea of what's going to happen, so it's not just a, hey, there's music over here, just so you know.
No, that's over now. That there's, you know, just walking around downtown and finding the next place that's playing good music. It's kind of I think it's kind of ended.
I learned that the hard way for EDC this year. We did a party, and my girlfriend and I were walking down the street with my huge JBL speaker, blasting John Summit. You know, walking towards the festival, being like, hey, music over here, free entry. You know, you get a free drink when you get to come in too. And people were looking at me like, I ain't going to no party right now. Like, I'm going home. Like, and I was just like, man, okay, like this is not the move.
Yeah, the landscape is changing. There's a lot of new talent now.
It's crazy, because back then, and when I say back then, I'm talking like 2012, 2013. I remember wanting to play at Firestone, and the guys who ran Ignition at the time told me straight up, they were like, you can't play because you don't have enough followers. And so I was like, hurt. And so then I thought, you know what, let me just because at the time Facebook had they're incorporating the ads, you know, like promotion or whatever. And so I was like, all right, here's $60 on a 4-day promotion campaign, and we'll see what happens. And then I jumped up from like 350 something followers to like 15, 17,000. Majority of those people were from like India, whatever, you know, and around the world. But I'm like, whatever, I got the followers, right? But it's funny, because back then it was just a simple like.
It was about the music. It was about who you knew. It was, you know, I played at Firestone.
No algorithm, no nothing.
No, it was like, I'm going to show my age again, but you know, I played before we had followers, before anyone was checking my Instagram to find out, you know, how many followers I had. It was about the music. Yeah, it's you know, somewhat still about the music, but followers and it's definitely changed a lot.
It has, and like we were saying earlier, like technology, DJing, all of it is hand in hand. The better technology, the better.
I would say it almost makes it easier for a new DJ to become popular than it was back in the day.
Oh yeah, today.
You know, yeah.
Oh yeah, especially because now.
If you know what you're doing.
Yeah, in the Ultra movie, there's like an Ultra Music Festival movie, and Boys Noise talks about just that, because he was saying back then the sound and the style was so fresh that you had to like re-listen and really listen to the songs to try to get what was going on, versus like now everything is like, we were talking about breaks off camera. Yeah. You know, anyone that's an Orlando native knows breaks. You know that that pattern. You know, every time I think of it, I think of the Powerpuff Girls. You know what I mean? That's me. That's how I think of breaks. I think of the Powerpuff Girls.
I don't relate to Powerpuff Girls, unfortunately, but yeah, the break scene has evolved and changed a lot. Unfortunately, house is a much bigger thing now than breaks was. You know, than breaks is right now. So yeah, it's definitely changing.
Yeah, because back then it was breaks. And even back then, trance was king, you know.
And it was all about exclusivity. Like, if you played a set someplace, you didn't get that music anywhere else.
No.
You weren't going on YouTube and like, you know, I know that track, or putting your, Shazam up and trying to find out what the track, DJ. So right now, back then, everything was exclusive. Whatever vinyl that you had, whatever you were playing, nobody had that. Now, tracks that you're playing, everybody has. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. So it's a lot more about exclusivity now. If you're not being exclusive, if you're not playing your own stuff, if you're not doing your own mashup, it's really hard to stay relevant.
Yeah, and that's what I've said to people a lot nowadays, that music nowadays has become very personal. And now to be successful as an artist, not only is it like you can, like Mariah Carey, that era is over, of the diva, the big artist, the big, I'm holier than thou. It's gone now. Now people, for example, I'm not a big Billie Eilish fan, but I understand why girls and guys like her, because she's open. She shows a vulnerability within herself, which people can, relate to. And so now, the more real you are and the more you inject yourself, the more authentic it is, and then the people will really come. Versus if they can see, nowadays you can see it online, being called a plant is the worst thing that you could be called.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're basically dead on air with that.
Oh, back in the day, you could be a look down DJ. Like you could just stare at your decks. You can just play the music. No one really even.
You could still work well. You would still get money.
Yeah, and no one really the Firestone. I mean, the DJ booth in the main area. I mean, no one could see who was playing. You weren't on like a main stage. Now it's all about the
with your name, like the size of a building behind you, with people taking pictures, and it's like you're not supposed. No one's gonna build an ego off
now
that.
Now it's a bit, before it was all about the music. Now it's a bit of it's a more performance art, I feel.
Well, I'll say this before we go to commercial break real quick. Something that always makes me laugh is when I go on Instagram, and I sound like a hater. When I go on Instagram and I see a DJ that has 4,000 or 5,000 followers, and they do the famous, like, they're in the booth and you just see the light, the crowd behind them or whatever, and they're like this, it's like, thank you everyone for making this possible for me to be here and become the everything I was meant to be. And it was like, it was a movie last night, and it's like, yo, you DJ'd at 10 p.m. last night, like you DJ from 10 to 11 p.m. Like, calm down.
That's a rite of passage for any DJ. If you haven't played to an empty room, I mean,
you have to.
You have to.
I've told people before, I want younger DJs. Vinyl DJs are like, you need to learn on vinyl. I want younger DJs to play on CDs to learn what it feels like to be in the middle of a club, packed full of people, and then you're in the middle of some Rihanna song and your CD starts going da, 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 and people think it's the remix and they think it's a build-up, and you're sitting there like, oh no, like no hot cues, no preset, nothing. Like
back in the vinyl days, it was a little more difficult. If you had vinyl that scratched and you just couldn't play it no more. There was some vinyl. I bought some vinyl where it skipped at a certain point. You just knew the DJ. You just knew to bring it in or take it out before it got there.
Yeah, for real. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, you guys, at the top of the hour, and we're going to come right back. So we'll be back with you in a second.
Hey everyone, it's The Wildlife, and you're listening to WPRK, Winter Park, Florida.
All right, what is up, everybody? We are back here in the studio. We are with our boy Eddie, the head CEO, honcho, the brain behind Florida Raves, and the brand new thing, TicketFuze, that if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's a website that is meant to help local producers, event throwers. If you want to throw your own parties and you don't want to necessarily work through Eventbrite and jump through all those hoops, and you want it to be readily accessible, this is the thing for you. So, and it's dope, honestly, and I'll tell you, dude, it's amazing to have you here and to share this, because like you said off camera, it's all about supporting local DJs, supporting people that are on our level,
absolutely,
and working together, like you said, because at the end of the day, Insomniac will always be there. Ultra will always be there. EDC will always be there. I tell everybody, if you want to go to a great EDM show, to a concert, just go out on Friday, Saturday nights and to your biggest club, and you'll be good. You won't miss a single thing, but if you want to be a part of the community and you want to do stuff, and feel part of something, that's Monday through Thursday. And sometimes, you can't go to those big shows because Friday, Saturday, you're with your friends. And people forget that that's how you get big. We
got the day raves now. You've seen the day raves,
right? Isn't it funny how
done by 10,
Follow me on this. Isn't it funny how back then raves were in illegal spaces / warehouses?
And we didn't call them raves,
right? And then they weren't raves; they were just parties.
They were just parties.
And then that eventually moved into the warehouse, and then that moved into nightclubs, right? And then it moved into the after party, and now we finally have moved into the daytime cycle. Like that's crazy.
Rave is mainstream now. Rave is mainstream.
Like, who knew that brunch, that like just going out to Kiki? Remember Kiki's when Kiki's first became a thing?
Yeah.
And people were like, every Sunday morning, I'm going to Kiki's and getting my waffles and my chicken tendies, you know. And now people wake up on a Sunday and they go, I want to go to Elixir and it's Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah.
Like. Meanwhile, we're gonna dance to house music in the background.
I mean, I think that, you know, there's something for everybody now. Before, raves were just, you know, for a specific group, you know, a specific crowd, a specific time of day, a specific day of the week. Now it feels like a rave is everywhere. You know?
Mm-hmm. And since we talked about the site and everything, you know, for you, you know, to let the people know what's your cup of tea with dance music. Who's your favorite artist? Who's your You know, who are the people that got you to be like, yo, this is amazing, whether local, big, famous,
It's changed now. I don't have a favorite artist right now. I mean, I grew up on house. I'm from New York. I grew up on New York house. I did some time in Jersey. I call it doing time. You know, it's not really a great time to stay in Jersey.
It's different over there. I've learned people take house music very seriously up north.
They do.
Very serious.
They do. And the scene is a lot different. I came down here and brought my house records down here and saw breakbeats everywhere. And I was like, what is this breakbeat stuff?
Right.
It's awesome. And fortunately and unfortunately, I got stuck in breakbeats for a while, and I'm kind of, you know, veering back over into house again.
That's awesome, because for me it was the opposite. I grew up not knowing dance music. I listened to metal and punk, you know, stuff first. And then my cousins got me into Daft Punk, and my dad's youngest brother was the one who introduced me to Icy. And he was like, oh, listen to this, you know, Escape. And I was like, oh, wow, like, this is crazy. And so I got into breaks first, and then later I got into house. So then when I started discovering Armin van Helden and all that stuff, I was like, what is this soulful sound? I'm like, because at the time I didn't have a relationship with hip hop either. And so as I was getting older, I was developing a bigger relationship with R&B and with hip hop. And then I started realizing that it went like almost hand in hand with house music, because it almost came from the same place, pretty much. Yeah. And I found myself doing the opposite, going from breaks and, you know, unsyncopated rhythms to now I'm locked into the groove. You know, it's crazy. And like you said, times change like that. It's funny, you know.
Yeah, it's I grew up on that soulful house, and, you know, coming to Florida, they had that, you know, they had break beats and that bass line, you know, that I love that bass line from breaks. Just the bass line that, you know, it's a lot deeper, it's a lot busier. I guess it's probably a lot more for a person with ADHD, probably. There's just a lot more going on. But I still love house music, so I feel like house music is making a strong comeback. And so
well, what's funny now is that now I've talked to some people, dance music is it's the same and different in the sense that, like, I was talking to a friend on TikTok Live about this. 15 years ago, or I'll put it like this: John Summit is a tech house DJ, confirmed. Mark Knight is a tech house DJ, confirmed. But Mark Knight and John Summit don't sound the same. They're completely night and day different. Completely different styles, completely different everything.
It's very regional, I feel, sometimes.
And it's funny because I'm like, tech house became big room. Big room became, you know, main stage. Techno became trance. Techno, and then you know, now we have hard techno.
Oh yeah.
So hard techno, or, you know, became hard style.
We have a lot of subgenres now. Before when I started, it was just techno. It was house. It was breakbeats. It was just a few genres. Now it's all these subgenres. And
I remember when it was just electronica. There was like electronica, trance, and like electro.
Yeah. Or if you didn't know, you called everything techno. Everything was techno.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, even Crazy Frog was on the same level as a Geo for strings.
It's crazy for me, you know, being from New York. When I came to Florida, you know, no one heard of breakbeats in New York. You know, New York is house music. You know, New York is soulful house. Every type of house music is in New York. You come to Florida, breakbeats was a big thing back in the day. Well, I mean, I guess it still is, but to me, it feels very regional, the breakbeats, you know?
Well, this might be a deep cut question, because, like, you're from New York, right, and everything. Like, do you think that the reason that maybe breaks didn't hit off in New York like that was because, I just had the thought, right, because in hip-hop, you know, obviously it was born out of New York City. Grandmaster and House as well, and Grandmaster Flash, I remember created, the bedrock, like he said, of music for rapping using the breaks in songs to get that do 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 boom 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 bop boom 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 bop, and then you hear the booka 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 booka, and then right back to the beginning of the loop. So do you think that could have been the reason why? Because hip hop DJs in New York mostly saw, they would hear boom boom da boom boom da.
I don't know if it's a culture thing.
And they would be like, instead of making that whole thing into a track, like a dance track, it's just a simple. That's where that in my brain, the reason why I brought it up is that's how I would equate to boom bap. Type beats.
I feel like house music is a culture, and that culture is part of New York. You'd be hard pressed to go to New York and find any breakbeat events. It's all house up there.
Yeah,
it's part of the culture. There's like so many different types of subgenres for house, and that's New York.
Well, let me get your opinion on this, since you're again, not putting an age on it, right? But you're an older cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of younger kids, for example, don't even know what freestyle is.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? And to explain freestyle to them, I'm like, and it's like doing it an injustice, because it's like it's the grandfather to have.
You can't
it's
explain
like
that.
Because like disco is like the grandfather, and we currently are in the EDM world, and then the '90s did have its moment, but like there was freestyle.
Oh yeah.
Like and that did end up becoming dance music, but it's like.
Well, it was all synths,
Yeah.
They use a lot of synths, freestyle. I feel like birthed a lot of other types of music.
Shout out Stevie B, bro.
Yeah.
TKA, shout out TKA.
Yeah, for real. Because like I remember they went to UCF once, and my mom got tickets, and I was like, old music, like okay, like let's go, and that's when I was like, just expose and all that.
Yeah, my uncle and my mom's got me into freestyle music, and I feel like the freestyle music got me into house music. The house music got me into break beats, and just kind of went from there.
And I bring it up because I was I had served like a mission when I was younger in Texas, and because at the time I was very involved with like church and whatnot, and I met this guy, and he was from Jersey, and I'm kicking myself now because I should reach out to him. He had like an entire bedroom, like not just like a wall, like with his crate, with his records, like I mean a whole room, like records and boxes, like you could not move in this room because he had so many records.
I've had friends like that in Jersey.
And he's like, yeah, what I do is every day I'll just take a new record, I'll put it on the vinyl player, record it into Audacity, hit Auto Master or Auto whatever, and just put it on my computer, and then I put it on my iPod, and I'm good. And he had maybe like over a terabyte of just ripped straight from the vinyl, high quality stuff. And I remember asking him, how did you? And he's like, my brother and me, and we just, like he said, it was like collecting candies. He's like, how you kids collect Pokemon cards? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that was our thing. We would collect records because. He's like, at the time they were expensive or they were hard to get, or like he said, you never know when you would get another one. Right. And so you would just...
Well, I mean, spending hours in a record store looking at records and listening to records, it's almost like sitting in a bookstore reading books and trying to find the right book. It was a lot different finding the music that you want to. And there was a lot more exclusivity then. What you were playing, not everybody could get.
No, agreed. And like you said earlier, that was the beauty of it. Like, because if somebody made a remix...
Yeah.
Back then there was, like you said, there's no Spotify, no Apple Music today. Right. There's no, oh, let me just pull up your song. It's, hey, Frankie Knuckles is DJing at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yo, let's go, because he's gonna play that song. He's gonna play that one jam, Right. And like you said, that's where the community starts to get built, because then you show up and you're talking to whoever that's there, and they go, oh, I love so and this, or I love this one song, and you go, you know that song? Oh yeah, because so and so did this and that with that, and and you're like, I'm the only person. I thought I was the only person that knew
that song. Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I remember jamming to Calvin Harris. You used to Hold Me, by Calvin Harris. And sometimes I'll have old songs just ringing through my brain, and I'm like, and I'll bring them up to my girl. I'm like, you know this song? You know that song? You know this song?
I
You know that song?
loved being able to
Like-
discover music when it was vinyl. You know, like when you were looking through vinyl, you were trying to find records, you were discovering music. You weren't just, you know, I'm looking for that track that I heard on YouTube or heard a DJ play before. Well, I should correct myself. You were a lot of the times looking for a track that you heard another DJ play, but it was discovery. It was music discovery, and you were going through, when you played that record, people were discovering that music with you. It's different now. A lot of the DJs, you could play exactly what you can hear on Spotify and YouTube. So you've got to be more exclusive, and you've got to make your own mashups. You've got to do your own mixes. You've got to be a little more unique now.
Yeah, no, agreed totally. Because like now, for example, when I go looking for music, I have this annoying. It's not me, but a thing that I don't like is when I'm going through, and for example, there's 100 million versions of Calabria, you know, and I love Calabria, and who doesn't love hearing the bam 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 bam, because it's lit. It's like hearing Satisfaction.
Yeah.
You know, it's always a good time.
Right.
But at the same time, at the same time, I don't want to hear that from every set, every time I go out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind hearing the song, but do it in a way that's that's
unique.
different.
Yeah,
because
unique.
as like I told my girl, growing up, before I got into dance music, I had the thought, wow, it's so cool that like there can be one song and then there's a bajillion different versions like of the same song, and if you don't like that one, there's another one out there. You know, there's no limit to it. And the fact that, you know, anyone can blow up, you know, to kind of come back full circle, right? Anyone can blow up, you know, via a song, you know, just by doing a party, using, using the website that you've created, which, like we've said already, gives a leg up to those who haven't done it before or have never worked it. Like I told you, I've never used Ticketmaster. I've never, out of all the shows I've ever done, it's either you just pay at the door or I'm getting paid at the club. There was no RSVP. There's no.
Well, Ticketmaster's got a lock on specific venue. You know, that's not going away. They've got a contract with certain venues.
And that's the other thing. A lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't even
Live
ready for that
Nation,
conversation
Ticketmaster,
yet.
Vanguard, and things like that. Like, it's a lock. There's, you know, it is what it is there. But, you know, hopefully the platform that I created, the TicketFuze, hopefully, you know, the venues and the promoters where they have the option to not use TicketFuze or not use Eventbrite, you know, they can use something that's going to free them up and help them market their venue, market their event, and keep their profits, you know?
Yeah. No, agreed. And like I said, it's a great idea. I love it. I think it's something that Orlando needs. I feel like Orlando is in such a good spot. I've said it for over a year now. Orlando is in such a good spot right now. Downtown is in a state where
it's in a state of flux.
Yeah,
Let's just call
where I genuinely believe if whoever it is that's able to get that team together and they build that trust and they find, like we said, a venue that's willing to trust them, whoever it is, and run with it, they will be the top dogs of this new era of dance music and clubbing. Because notice how iDrive is becoming a new thing. Like you said, Sanford is becoming a new thing.
Yeah, I feel like downtown got a little too saturated with the events. I think every hookah bar had a DJ event going on. Every coffee bar had, every restaurant had a nightly thing going on, and it's I guess it's great for the finding something to do and walking around and just hitting it, but
it's not building a community.
No, and I think downtown Mayor Buddy Dyer, I think he kind of had enough of it.
Yeah, and on some level, I kind of don't blame him. Some level, I kind of don't.
His cafe is gone. You know, the scene has definitely changed downtown.
Mm-hmm. It's not like it was before. Agreed.
No.
I remember. I'll put it like this. My mom used to work at. She used to work for Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan, right?
The M's.
Yeah, and I remember being on Church Street in Macos, being 17, freshly 18 years old, and being able to just walk from her building to Church Street, be there. You know, I would DJ from 8 till 11:30, and sometimes just stay there if she stayed to work longer. You know, and I felt completely safe. There was no there was no, pew-pewing anywhere or whatever,
no.
you know.
The only danger was getting caught doing whatever you were doing at
Yeah,
wherever you were at.
the biggest danger was alcohol poisoning, and you did that to yourself. you know. And nowadays it's like it's a whole nightmare. Like this last year, I played a show with our friend Marin, DJ Stepbro, at Chillers before they closed. And we played upstairs, and that was the day. It was the shooting.
Is that Latitudes up there, Chillers?
Yeah, it was Latitudes.
Latitudes. Yeah.
It was the Halloween with the shooting that happened.
Oh, wow,
we had
yeah.
no idea. We were up, me and my girlfriend, him. We were having fun, dressed up. No idea any of that happened. No idea. And you saw me carrying my Pioneer controller, my huge controller.
Yeah.
I was carrying that through downtown.
Wow.
And not knowing that, and people were walking around like as if nothing, and I was like,
Wow.
And when we got home the next day, that's when my phone blew up, and I was like, what happened? I didn't even
They're
know.
asking you what happened. You were right there.
Yeah, and I'm like, we didn't hear any, not even, I kid you not even a police siren.
Wow.
No, we didn't hear anything, like not a thing, and it just goes to show the change, the changes. Like even I drive right now, some of the. From what I've seen, the guys who used to run Senso, they're trying to open like a pool time Miami day club.
There was
style.
a beach club, a pool club.
Yeah,
I think it's been trying to open for like 2 years.
They've been trying. Like
I wrote about it on Florida Raves when I started this, a year or two ago.
it's the guy I was talking about, the owner of
Oh, is
Senso.
it?
That's
Okay.
that's if
Oh,
you
wow.
if you look up their business license, it's them.
I'm still waiting for that place to open.
But I think it was supposed to open like fall 2024.
Yeah,
We're-
they
Towards the end
keep
of
keep
2025.
trying. I don't know what it is, but like I said, they've you can Google it. They've tried a couple times, and I
Yeah.
really hope. I'll be honest. I really hope they do. I hope it's possible, because then there's just more opportunity. The only
Yeah.
time I'll ever complain about there being too many gigs is if it's the same people.
Yeah.
As long
Yeah.
as there's more opportunity for more people, I'm
I'd love some like daytime pool beach clubs. I feel like Tampa and Miami has it on lock. Like I see pool parties with a WRC or something like that. In
The
Tampa.
coolest pool party that my girlfriend and I went to that's in Miami is it's called Strawberry Moon. It's called Strawberry Moon. We saw Laid Back Luke there. It was super dope. The girl it didn't hit me until way after the lady, the girl, I don't know what's the title of her, but the lady who used to run Story, if you remember Story Miami.
Yeah.
That was a big club back then. Story was huge. She's the person who runs Strawberry Moon.
Interesting.
So very high quality night. The pool was nice. The bar was nice. Everything was super super cool in there. Like I was blown away. I didn't know you could have 4 pools on the 6th floor of a building in Miami with subwoofers on top going doo doo doo. Like I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it's super sick.
Yeah, and I feel like Tampa's got a good EDM scene.
Yes.
I wish we had Tampa's.
What
EDM
is their
scene.
club called? It was like Wet something or
Oh,
W.
It's WRC. I forget what it stands for, but they have a lot of big players there. They have like a pool gig there, and it's real nice. But Tampa's got a real good EDM
Tampa,
scene.
and that's another thing. I remember growing up being like, whatever Tampa,
Yeah.
nothing's in Tampa.
No.
Old people are in Tampa. That's what's in Tampa. And now they're on the up and up with EDM.
I feel like they took our scene a little bit.
They
Yeah, I
did.
feel
Tampa, now whenever people reference Florida, they just mention Tampa.
Tampa, yeah.
No one talks about Orlando.
And very little Miami, unless it's like Winter Music Conference or Spring Break.
Fort Lauderdale's stealing that from Miami.
Yeah.
I've been to Chemistry and wow.
Yeah.
Talk about a nightclub.
Wow.
Like great sound system. The owners, super nice. I met them. I'm a Laid Back Luke stan, and we were there for
I
the Laid
love
Back
Laid
Luke
Back
show.
Luke, yeah.
Bro, they were more than nice. Allowed me to not be on the stage with Luke, but they allowed me to come up, do pictures, record on the GoPros.
That's cool.
They were more than nice. They were more than nice. And like I said, the venue, amazing. The visuals in the venue, when we walked into the venue and I saw how packed the street was, I literally had like a flashback. It was like almost like a Vietnam flashback. It's not the same, but it was like the streets were so packed that it was like I was back in downtown Orlando 2010. Like you remember how packed it was back then? Like like the sidewalks were the street was so full.
And
like,
still safe.
and yeah, it was literally you couldn't walk on the sidewalk or the street, and it was still safe.
Yeah.
It was that like cars were stuck, and not because of the lights. Because people were walking the street that hard.
Right.
And I was like, wow. I was like, Fort Lauderdale has such an amazing.
When's the last time you've been to Club Space? You've been there since it opened again?
No, I've been across the street though at 11.
Oh, yeah.
I've been at 11 across the street. But no, I don't. I've only ever been to space once. I've only been there once, and that was, with our unnamed friend, from back in the day. I went to space in 2012 for that.
It was a lot easier to get into club space then. It was
definitely was.
It was a different experience.
Yeah, you just showed up and I was like, hi, like here's the money and there you go. Versus now, all I see is on TikTok the dude with the long hair. That's all I know him as, the dude with the long hair with the jeans. And he goes, no.
I learned something recently after doing all this TicketFuze and Florida Rave stuff and digging into history about nightclubs is Club Space, the section and the block that Club Space is on, that is the only block that's allowed to have 24-hour drinking in the city. Yeah, the owner of Miami, I don't know who he partnered with or who he got.
The owner of Miami, that's
Excuse me,
crazy.
The owner of Club
No, but I believe it though.
The owner of Club Space, I'm not sure who he got with,
but
but they sectioned off just that block to allow Club Space to allow 24-hour drinking, and that's the only spot that you can do it in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that includes 11 also, maybe? Or...
I don't know how much it expands out, but they did it just for them. So I'm not sure what's who that person.
So, I mean, I feel like they have to be owned by the same people or something.
Yeah, they had some connections. Somebody knew somebody. Somebody greased the wheels for somebody. But
because I know right now, Insomniac is involved. Because I don't know if you saw that post about Pasquale getting into it with like owners of space and whatnot. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I haven't seen
yeah, that's something to read into later. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But we're hitting at 8:30 right now. That's as we're wrapping up, for anyone that's listening, again, you're listening to 91.5. We're here in the studio with Eddie, talking about his website, talking about TicketFuze and how it can help you as an event, promoter. You want to do shows. If you're a DJ, just wanted to do something with your friends and you want control of the analytics and whatnot, and be able to get pre-show money easier and faster. This is the thing, man. And I just want to say thank you for, creating something that people can use, and that people can genuinely use, because a lot of the time it's like with music, it's like here, or like we were talking about with clubs, like we're just playing music and serving alcohol. What is a reason someone should come out? Why should someone support? Why should someone do anything with you? Yeah. And I tell my girl that, I was like, if I ever do a show, I want, if people were to come, if I'm not giving them a shirt, if I'm not giving them a sticker, at least I want them to feel like, hey, I'm in a space that I don't feel judged in. Or even if I have a problem with someone, that's not going to exist here because, that's not the philosophy that goes on with it, But before we wrap up, do you have any shout outs, any family, any friends, we're going to plug the website for sure, but is there anything else, anything you want to say before we hop off?
Just check out TicketFuze, it's with a Z. Check out Florida Raves, it's a very, local site talking about raves and local EDM events. That's about it.
Yeah, awesome. So like he said, you guys, Florida Raves on Google, or you can check out TicketFuze. It's already up and running, so if you guys are trying to do events, you can already start using it. It's app.ticketfuse.com. Or, like I said, just Google Florida Raves. It is super awesome. So, yeah, dude, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's been a blast, and it's always nice to have someone that actually, knows the history.
I feel it was a little nostalgic. We had a little nostalgia today.
Right, just a little bit. It's nice. The Monday morning nostalgia, right?
There you go.
But thank you guys so much for listening. I'm gonna hop on to the other side of the booth. I'm gonna DJ just for a little, just play some, some cool tracks for you guys, just vibing out. And we'll catch you guys next week. We're gonna be uploading this video within the next 2-3 days. So check out for it on YouTube. The links will be up. So I will catch you guys next time and enjoy the tunes while you still can. So we are out.